Hi, YouTube. What's up? What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Hey, by the time this gets here, in case you guys are wondering, dude, like, whoa, these are really long videos. Welcome. It's the fucking norm. Just got out of work, so if I'm cussing a bit, just know because half the time I have to be there and be like, and let me just tell you this: all therapists and psychologists aren't like that off of work. Nah, fam, we all got our own wild side. So with that being said, I think this is important to go ahead and highlight. We are going to go through it. The editors are having a little bit of difficulty getting episode 1 up. So by the time you guys see this, hopefully they have all 4 up. So I don't know what else to say. All of this is quite literally analyzing the character behavior, analyzing their behaviors, the environment, so on and so forth. It's not about predictions. It's about actually going in deep and talking about it. If you're going through a mental health crisis, please seek out help in your area from mental health professionals. While I love stating this because it's true. I am not your guys' psychologist. I'm not your therapist. I am here as a friend, as an entertainer, whatnot. My community is there as a support network if you need it. We have an amazing Discord with amazing individuals all in here, chatting all the time. But it's there if you guys need it, if you guys need to make friends, if you guys need to vent, if you guys are having a hard time in your life, so on and so forth. But if you guys do have the resources to seek out mental health professionals in your area, please do so. Alrighty, guys. Are you guys ready? Are you guys steady? Alrighty. I don't know what else to say other than, yes, this is a little bit of a different setup. I know. Puppy Ed knows. All right, let's go. Hey, anytime she comes on screen, this goes for YouTube as well. Sometimes we encounter mistakes. She is Flame Mommy from now on, ladies and gentlemen. I want her to step on you just as much as I want her to step on me. Amen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go. Let's go. Did we just start? We are starting episode 5. Let's go. See, this is what I find interesting. What is this journey? And I do want to start off by asking this, right? Like, significantly, what is this a personal journey or is this a journey of reinvention? One thing that is highlighted by this is is there stuff that happened in their relationship together between Himmel and Frieren that she maybe does not capture fully? And aside from this is a journey beyond the end, specifically I'm talking about attachments, right? How many of you have ever realized afterwards that someone was hitting on you? I have. I'm going to be straight up about it, right? You might be in the moment, you think you're good. You're like, wow, that's such a friendly person. And then a couple days later, maybe even years later, maybe they were just your friend and you never captured it. And then you're like, oh, that's why they walked out of the shower with nothing on. And they were being flirty. And they said, yo, you down? And I was like, oh, I'm going to go make food. Oh, not speak. It sticks with you. It sticks with you, right? I haven't decided if anyone's ever hit on me. Starman, just wait. It happens. I went on a whole date and only realized when he kissed me at the Ninja Maid. Oh, oh, no. It happens. I realized afterwards someone had a crush on me. I thought they were in elementary. It doesn't mean that much. Here's the thing, though. When we're looking at this show in particular, and we're looking at the relationships that they've had, this sort of comes into mind, which is a lot of people like to think, oh, psychology is the study of the human mind. It's a study of the mind in general, how brain works, how thought patterns work, how behaviors are amplified, why behaviors are amplified, routine structure, organizations even. It's the study of the minds inside of organizations, the study of the mind, 101 aspects out there. Are all elves like this? Or is Frieren on the spectrum? That's what I'm going to go ahead and ask, with not noticing social cues or maybe even acknowledging them a little bit late. Nothing wrong with it, But I'm just saying, in this particular world, because if we look at Mushko Tensei, the same argument could probably be made for Roxy. Not so much on the spectrum, but just that she's different, A girl confesses to me on April 1st and said April Fools. Then years later, I found out that she was touch me, bro. Elves that aren't on the spectrum, unalive when all. Oh, oh. And this is like, for example, if I were to ask you guys this, and I think this is something to relate. How many of you guys have a topic that you guys know a lot about? You guys are like, this is your interest. You're really really into it. D&D, Warhammer 40K, uh Zone of Enders, Metal Gear, like what, like all, Gundam. How many of you guys are really, really into a topic, into like something that you're just reading fanatically, whether it's Moshiko Tensei or, you know, something out there? Like, what are you guys really, really into? What is the circumscribed interest that you have? Moshiko Tensei for me, Team Fortress lore, some of them's SCP. How many of you guys are really bad at picking up signs, like social cues? And sometimes you have to mimic other people around you to fit in. Dibujar y Moshiko, sí, a bastantes. Bononian, ¿cómo estás? A lot of people, yeah. Social cues change over time. You know, it doesn't always have to be always, but you at least lean towards like looking at others to understand how to react to. How many of you are really uncomfortable doing presentations or interacting out there? Yeah, yeah, I'm fully a ninja. I didn't say it, dude. I am. How many of you think it's really really hard to break into a new environment and make friends, or uncomfortable in new environments? Yeah. So, in case people in Frieren are asking, just go through these questions with me, right? How many of you have a texture? Like, there's certain textures that you can't feel because it just irks you, yeah? Like, if it was like this, right, and it was all puffy and scratchy and whatnot, or if I were to get ice and just like scratch the ice or get nails across like a blackboard, how many of you are hit by that? If it's not sound, then what about textures through food? Like, you can't have slimy food, or, you know, like las tizas en el pizarrón. Hated. The point that I'm trying to highlight is all of the. Oh, also, I guess another one. How many of you guys were maybe felt out of place as a kid, as though you maybe didn't belong, or maybe you were slightly different from others? Or maybe you didn't really realize it until later on as an adult. Noisy environments. Yeah, noisy environments could be one, absolutely. Okay, how many of you have done the spectrum test? Or how many of you have gone to a mental health professional to get a spectrum test? In case you guys are wondering, a majority of the concepts that I'm bringing up here are big umbrellas of things for being on the spectrum. Just saying. It sounds weird, and I know that I'm like, I literally am just bringing it up as a concept of talking about it, right? As a concept for you to like realize and maybe look into Frieren in that environment as well, right? But it's something that I'm really curious about, and I'm actually thinking about doing a RADS R test on Frieren in order to go ahead and identify whether or not she would rank high in it. Through, I guess, through a human perspective, we're going to go ahead and rank it that way. So I hope that this conceptualizes sort of the aspects. I'm not diagnosing her in any way, shape, or form. I'm just saying she shows a lot of symptomology, some of the aspects that we're noticing on here in terms of social cues. It doesn't necessarily have to be every little checkbox, but you can, for example, ace it on social cues. So that's something I'm really, really curious about. I never visit mental health professionals. Some things, it's a bother in some way or another. Who's the best girl, Frieren or Fern? I've gotten a diagnosis of ASD, very mild, but I do have some prevalent. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Ultimate Kiwami. Dude, I appreciate you opening up. So here's the thing. Even if you are on the spectrum, even if you have BPD, even if you have bipolar, even if you have depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, schizoaffective disorder, even if you have 101 diagnoses out there, I want you guys to say it with me. My diagnosis is not me. You are not your diagnosis. You have symptoms of, you know, depression. You have symptoms of anxiety, but you are not anxiety. You are not depression. You have symptoms of depression. You are a human first and foremost, and I want you guys to understand that. And I want every person like out there, mental health professional, to treat you like a human being first before they treat you, before they're just like, oh, anxiety's here, depression's here, oh, it's your BPD acting up, when it might just be something that, you know, you're going through. And I think that's important to go ahead and clarify that and talk about that, because some people want to go ahead and always jump to the conclusion you're just looking for the, like, you know, you're just looking at them for their diagnosis, and it's like, no, I'm not. I'm looking at the person first and foremost. Yep. It means a lot to hear that. Oh, well, thank you, man. Appreciate it, Ultimate Kiwami. I'm glad that helped. But through that, the reason why I went on this rant, the reason why I'm going through this is looking at Frieren. What do we notice? Things that stand out to you. In her group, did she fit in? Was she charismatic? Was she a leader? Or is she sort of a social outcast in regards to society in general? She's sort of a social outcast. In this world, does Frieren have specialized interest? She does. In fact, magic. It all became about magic to her. Okay. Does Frieren know a lot about attachments, about even love within the group, or can pick up on flirting things? Or if you told her something like, hey, are you a parking ticket because you have fine written all over you? Would she understand that? Or would she just be like, I don't get it, and like keep going? How far is she willing to go to a new spell? Exactly. So the reason why I'm highlighting these aspects is because all of a sudden it's becoming more and more prevalent in terms of how her mind might work, how she might literally just be geared one way or another. And as she's unveiling this aspect of her mind, she's starting to see that the world is a little bit bigger than she originally thought, you know. Sorry, long rant for 7 seconds in, but I hope it's helpful in understanding not just yourself, but the characters that we're seeing here. Yeah. Anyway, let's go, guys.
この世界の人々が天国と呼ぶ場所。10 years. 10 years. For them, every year must have been a cycle, a journey, an inspiration to go through, right? For Frieren, it was probably like a day in the grand scale of things compared to everyone else. But for everyone else, that's 10 years. Imagine, guys, 10 years. Something that's hitting me is for him particularly, everyone else has passed away from the group. There's only Frieren, and I forget the dwarf's name. But what is the dwarf like have left in comparison? You know, it's a good representation because some of the characters have problems. Emotion are also to be yeah, exactly, Nanachi, exactly. Because my thing is, I'm looking at the dwarf and I'm like, a lot of people don't seem to understand this or don't seem to fully contextualize this. And I've seen some people make fun of the show, right? They don't understand the aspects of grief, or maybe they don't want to understand or take into concept the aspects of grief in this show, which is, for you, if your best friends died, if your family members died, say one after the other, and there's only you and someone else left, how does that make you feel? Just step into the shoes for a second, empathize, even if it's like the loss of your favorite pet or the loss of something like someone close to you. Empathize for a second. What does that do to you as an individual? Because I'm thinking from the dwarf's perspective, and if I was in his shoes as an individual, for you, that would probably start a timer. For a lot of people, it probably starts a timer, right? How are you going to live out the rest of your days? What does time mean for you when it's counting down? When everyone else around you is slowly fading away into nothingness, what is left for you? Who will carry on your legacy? And this is something that I'm really curious about, because Frieren gets to see all of this unveil. She was there since the time of the dinosaurs, baby. She's fucking prehistoric, you know. But like everyone else isn't. And she's seen other people's legacies either continue or that fire dies out over time. So what about you for yourself, right? Do you want your fire to continue? Your legacy? Your little torch that you get to send on to the future that may be filled with blood and misery and dirt and whatnot. Do you want people to read your sad and messy and honestly sometimes amazing history? Or do you just want to be snuffed out? What is the legacy that you want to live on to others? And for the dwarf, that is something that I'm wondering about. What is the legacy that he may want to live, that he want to pass on? And I'm surprised that we haven't that he hasn't tried to take on like a student, that he hasn't tried to go ahead and do moves, write a book. A lot of people do books. A lot of people are so afraid of like whatnot, like of death, of it, that they have to be reminded of where they were and how they're growing in order to remind themselves that they have meaning. So they'll start doing notes. They'll start self-recording. They'll start writing things down because they want to leave an aspect of self, if not for future selves to not forget, then for future individuals. Which everything is a-okay. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's interesting concept to take on, you know. Flame lives on with fire. She denied being prehistoric, but she's over 1,000 years old. Anyway, let's go. You don't truly die until you are forgotten. Coco. You don't truly die until you're forgotten. Coco. Go watch it. Good shit. Good anime. One hundred. Oh. One hundredth of my life. I don't want to cry. I don't want to fucking cry, bro. I love, and I'm already fucking tearing up. It takes one moment, guys. It takes literally one moment to change a person's life. And I do mean this. Like, please be kind to others. In this message of self, in this moment of reflection and whatnot, be kind to others. And literally earlier today, I encountered someone that I had completely forgotten about, and this just really brought it out, which is around four 4 years ago, roughly, when I was back in the States, when I first came back to the States and I was doing therapy here. I encountered an individual that was homeless, right? Um, Unsheltered homelessness. Literally, he was asking for money, asking for stuff for his dog, because he only cared about his dog, not so much about himself. And I remember approaching him out there, uh, just out in his environment, and being like, "Hey, let me help you out. Like, if you're down to get help, like I can help you out. Let me set you up with services so you can get housing or something, you know." And at first, he was very resistant. In case you guys don't know, interesting little aspect. On Fridays, usually after work, what I do is I go grab pizza or go grab some fast food, and I take it out usually to one of the parks here where there's a lot of individuals that are down on their luck. We just eat, And sometimes I eat here, and sometimes you guys see me with my Jack in the Box here. But most of the times I go there and we just eat. Because if you've ever been down, like on your luck in the lowest points, you'll recognize that it takes one bad day and it can get you there. And being there and hearing their stories and whatnot, you learn a lot, right? Anyway, that was a long time ago. Today, and this is why I'm saying it takes one good moment of empathy. As I was talking with them, I learned a lot about him. I learned a lot about his story. Today, I went through and I actually saw him. And he went through and, gave me a hug. And he was just like smiling and laughing and whatnot. And he told me, dude, that day that you met me changed my life because now I have a house. He's like, now I have a place to stay. Now I don't have to worry about food for my dog. Now I have a partner in my life. And now I'm slowly starting to get even a car and stuff ready to go up and move. And I was like on the verge of tears, man. It takes one day, man. One day, one day of empathy, one day of caring about someone for who they are as an individual to get them to start their life back up again and maybe even start finding the help that they need. And a lot of people seem to take that for granted, which is why, if you can be kind, be nice to others and show that love and support whenever you guys can to them. Because wow. Frieren already got us talking a little bit deep here. And I don't know how to feel about it. Because I'm looking at this and I'm like, this show is a lot of self-reflection. It's a lot of reflection of like our own journeys and of self in this. But for Frieren, those 10 years meaning a lot more than 100 years. That one aspect in time carried so much more weight. And I'll throw this on to you guys. Is there a moment like that? Is there a defining moment in your life, or maybe a couple of days, a weekend, a holiday, a vacation, core memories, if you were to call them for that truly, I don't know, that you carry with you, that means something special to you, whether it was your dad saying, "I'm proud of you," or, you guys going to, I don't know, vacation, going to Disneyland or something together, right? That's an aspect that I'm bringing up. And then through this comes my next question. What is Frieren's home? Because even unknowingly, she might put a lot of weight into these relationships because these relationships might be an aspect of her home, an aspect of self in that, an aspect of whatever, right? Is it her suitcase or is it her traveling companions? Is it a place or is she trying to find it? And is that why she's confused? Is she confused because she lost that home and maybe she's wanting to know why she's getting these feelings? This is fucking amazing, man. It's amazing. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue, guys. Sorry. Half my life. Oh.
これからもっと多くなるよ。
No. This is how dogs feel. Oh. This is how dogs see us. This is how Frieren, mami. Creo que Frieren es una introspección del propio autor. Fíjate que sí. Es una bueno, nos hace pensar bastante en nuestras ideologías. Y es algo que bastante de las caricaturas, de los programas que miramos de que no hacen bien. Here you go. Get a tortoise so you'll be outlived. But it's something to think about and something to process, right? Because, like, for your dog, you are literally their everything. For your pet, for a majority of pets, you are probably there since the moment that they were little pups all the way till they take their last breath, right? And you are their world. For most of these pets, you are their world. And it's wild to conceptualize. It's wild to think about like that. Oof. Watching the first episode on Friday ended up being really cool. Yeah, I can see that, False Rat King. Are you doing okay, by the way? Because that's rough, man. That's rough when losing a pet, when losing a loved one like that. Like, also, I gotta mute this intro. Hate to say it, guys. It's YouTube's absolutely horrible with this. So you guys ready? Silent cat jam, go. Wait a minute. Like a journey that has reached its end, a journey that was too long. I guess what I'm processing through this is, I guess I'm sort of wondering how's this going to evolve into, right? Because are we going to get to a point where, say that they go to heaven, where maybe they get to go ahead, get to go ahead and understand aspects of themselves in the past, or maybe they're going to go and answer the guilt that they travel with for this, because the journey's end is not the end, and I think this is why it's beyond here, journey beyond the end or whatever. The end is never truly the end. Like, do you die if you are killed, right? Do you die if you are killed? For some people, they might be like, "What did you just ask?" but like, what I mean by that is your legacy might live on regardless of you being there or not, right? And that's according to Emiya, people die when they are killed. Oh no! But it's a journey of closure, and it's interesting because what is a hero's journey? This is the overall aspect that I'm trying to get to. What is a hero's journey? Has anyone ever taken writing or anything like that? How many of you guys know? It's a full circle of introspection and growth, right? For Frieren herself, and I guess this is an aspect that I'm gonna throw in there. It's a quest, like it's peace, it's resolution, it's growth, and it's starting the circle over again. How many circles, how many heroes' journeys or journeys of reflection and introspection has Frieren really gone through? Because for me, I'm sort of wondering a couple big things. Number one, what is the developmental milestone for elves, right? Number two, in comparison of age years to human years, what would that be like? Every 1,000 years is 10 years? Is that the concept that we're going with? Or is it even longer than that? Interesting music, good. Also, we can't hear it, so silent jam, ladies and gentlemen. Mm. 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 How about a cover, Ed? I'm not gonna sing it, bro. You guys would fucking destroy me from that. Living this land with days of peace and quiet. You know what I'm gonna do? My question for you is this. Yeah, I know. Because if I sung it, it'd be fucking horrible. I'm not really feeling this OP for this anime. Let's go again, boys. What is her shadow self? Like, if I were to ask you this, right? What is your shadow self? Like, what aspects of yourself would you say that you tend to hide from others, or that you would tend to go ahead and, I don't know how to put it, like, restrain or hide from people, or maybe it's like your angry self that doesn't really come out. Maybe it's like evil Ed. Like, what is your shadow self? Does it carry the guilt and weight of like what your presenting self usually goes through? That is the question that I have for Frieren in this opening. Like, because everyone else matches up nicely, right? Every shadow in this scene has a shadow. Shadow. There's no colors to them, but yet for her, she gets a light blue on top, right? She has warmth on her, right? But when it's reflected on the ground, it's a light blue with darker tones in the bottom. That is interesting. And I do wonder about that. If we were to separate Frieren into two people, one that had all of this guilt, all of these like negative emotions, everything like sensations of pain, guilt, whatever she may have, and the other just literally being an individual of warmth and whatnot, what is dominating? Because right now she's trying to understand more people, so you could say that maybe she's getting warmer, right? But for a long time, this area of coldness and detachedness really had a major impact on her, right? Because it was hard for her to form attachments. That's it's interesting to even look at. It's interesting to process. And I guess just going further with it, it's interesting how like herself, she doesn't fit in with this scene. Like in all the scenes that we're watching in here, look, she's doesn't fit in. This scene does not fit in. Literally color wise, ambient wise, people may be moving, people might literally be going back and forth. Herself as an individual, as a being, she does not fit in with the environment. This one, is she fitting in with these two? Or is she taking on another role? Interesting. It's interesting how the OP does stuff like this. Interesting how the OP is showing us that Frieren may have different roles at play here, right? Which some of them might just be an on-gazer. Some of them, it could literally be a representation of time, exactly. Where life keeps going, where attachments are being formed, and she's just left at the wayside, and she just has to experience life in of itself. I feel like the OP is shipping. Yeah, a little hard, John F. You know, she's on another plane of existence. Except for that, kind of wish I was that mimic. Fuck, there's no sound. No, I forgot. There's no sound. You guys heard that? Fuck. Oh, huh. Mm. Him as a character, I'm looking at his stance here, and I'm wondering, because usually for people that like when they swing, they tend to have like a really good balanced stance and use their legs and sit or whatever. Like I don't even know how to put it. It's a horse stance essentially to get good power coming through with an axe. And seeing him do stuff like this, it makes me wonder what type of a fighter is he? Is he a fighter that like really has like realized his best potential in his body, that knows where his core is, or is it more just like he's an individual that's still learning and on the path, right? Because that's a giant axe. Begin to rust just the same. Ooh, here's another question for you. Hold on. How do I frame this? Will Frieren begin to rust over time? I know she's not made of steel or iron, and I know this might sound stupid, right? But take it in the perspective of personality wise, right? She should be in a moment of learning and growing and literally like finding new experiences and whatnot. Do elves rust? Do they stagnate? Do all of a sudden they hit this peak? Like a lot of, I hate to put it this way, a lot of people hit their peak in high school and college, and then after that, like the skills and traits that they didn't learn, that they didn't take time to actually like invest in and start learning or whatever, all of a sudden they start getting this negative attitude and learning whatnot, and start heading down because that's not in their repertoire, in their skills, or is she just stagnating and staying literally stale the entire way? That's sort of what I'm interested in. Like, is she going up and is she afraid of coming back down after she's gone up a little bit? Because relapse is normal. Like, it takes people a long time to change. I feel like she was stagnated for 1,000 years. Probably. I peaked when I visited the highest place I've been to. Oh, Satan. Also, Nick, thanks so much for the sub. I appreciate you, dude. You're wonderful. I love you, man. For new magic. Of course. Birds.
Is she married? Is she married? Chat, is Frieren married? Yeah, to me. Don't mean they're not married. I've met many a women who don't have a ring on their finger and they were married. I'm not saying what happened, but to who? Why do you ask chat with that answer like that? I don't get those vibes. I get the vibes that Himmel might have cared about her more than she must have known. And even if Himmel presented an item to her, even this ring that is so shown in this OP, would she even have known what the aspect of togetherness or relationship or marriage is? Like, would she even know that she's married? And that's a big question. Like, what if he got down and he's like, Frieren, you know, will you marry me? And she's like, oh, cool, thanks. Put it on. She's like, whatever. And then she just take it off because it doesn't fit her. She doesn't like it anymore, or whatever. Like, you know, does she even know that she's married? If she's married, right? And I think that's the big question to go with it, because there's a disconnection in time, there's a disconnection in everything. And this also reflects with the attitudes, I guess, that Himmel had, where he cared so much about her that he kept like not just the friendship wise, but he kept stuff waiting for her. He was ready to go after she came and visited him. How lonely must have that been? If that is the case, bro, my feels for the man. Especially if he was like actually loyal for that long. Oof. I feel like if you don't know you're married, you probably aren't. Thanks so much, Raccoon. Appreciate you. Would never register. Absolutely. But that's my thing. Like, would you even register certain like, for example, if I got glass and I broke glass after you said like yeah to something or whatever, might be a culture aspect, might be what not, would you even know? Or if I got like a bunch of, I don't know, a curandero or like a random like magic man to come through and drop spells on us that says that we'll be together forever, would you like, and you not understand the language, would you even know? Or like not even cared about it? Yeah, copyright is horrible for this. That's why we're not listening to the opening. Well, they were cohabitating for 10 years. It's common law marriage for all of them. Yeah, but that's... All right, let's go. Let's continue here. Oof. I could be married too. I just don't know it yet. Oh, no. Speens! Sasuke boy. Sad boy. Let's go. I know, they might be in a polycule. Elf that can definitely step on me. All right, let's see. Glad to see I didn't watch too much of an episode. Yeah, we can't play much of the opening though because of copyright. So we're getting started right after this, and you guys should be able to hear it. There we go. You guys can hear that, right?
いいですか、フェルン。
Oh. Oh. Bro.
「あなたがいい子でいたら少しくらいならバカ」
Oof. I guess my concept through this is for herself. What does being a good girl mean? For herself, do you think that she feels like a good girl? Do you think that she feels like she's living up to her potential? Or is she fighting against that?
where she might take on the meaning of being a good girl is traveling with Frieren, and yet what she wants to be is start to be independent and start to grow from it. How many of you guys have been through an aspect like this, where maybe you guys were living in the shadow of your siblings, right? And you wanted to step out and do your own thing, or shadow of your parents, even, where you wanted to step out and do something, but at the same time, you still wanted to be this good kid for your parents, for your brothers, for your whatever. That's a lot of things to take in from one aspect to another. She she probably feels like she's on a sled ride, right? Right. So being a good girl is probably helping people. And even through that aspect, let's even put this into a perspective, right? For Frieren, is she just a student, or is she growing into more than that? That's what we're talking about. For Frieren, is she just a student, or is Farron, or however you guys say it, more than just that? Is she a sister? Is she a you know, a mom figure that like changes to daughter figure? What is she in that regard? Oh, 28 years after the death of Himmel the Hero in the Will region located in the Central Lands. Oh. The background music is... taken by ghosts.
その幽霊の見た目ってわかる？
Forgot where it was that in the desert where I live, we have a saying that if you see something, no, you didn't, right? And I do wonder about even like mythologies and aspects like that. Like, what are they, friendly ghosts, or do we need to call Ghostbusters in there? Like, are there like, could it be a wraith or a haunted individuals or something that's trying to go ahead and like suck your soul out, you know? And I don't mean in the good way. I don't mean in the way where you're just like, you know, but I mean like in the way where that doesn't make it better. That does... or is it the version where they come through, right? And they're just trying to wait for a weakness opening, maybe a lapse of judgment, a lapse of like you letting your guard down for something to attack, right? Because all of a sudden I'm thinking about it, this world like a D&D world, right? Where it's like, oh, you need to roll for initiative if you see them. So what would that mean? People when they're unlike you, I'm a good girl. I'm the best of girls, the goodest of girls, you know. But Frieren's milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and she's over here saying, like, I got the boots with the fur. But she's right. So you have your answer. She thinks she's a good girl. But this brings up an interesting question, and I do mean this in Ed is the best girl. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it so much. Okay, let's take a look at it, shall we? All right, guys. This is Erickson's developmental theory. Let's take a quick look. Uh-oh. What do we have here? When was her first trauma? When was her first trauma? Remind me again. When was her first trauma? Wasn't she around like preschool, 3 to 5? Uh-oh, what does it say here? Questions to be answered. Am I good or bad? And what is the next one after that from 6 to 11? How can I be good? Uh-oh, what is she working through? Telling you guys, children need to begin asserting control and power over their environment. Success in this state leads to a sense of purpose. Children who try to exert too much power experience disapproval, resulting in a sense of guilt. Children need to cope with new social and academic demands. Success leads to a sense of competence, while failure results to feelings of inferiority. My question is, do you think that she is exerting too much of this out there? That she's projecting maybe a lot of this out there, right? She needs to have control. She's a good girl. Unlike you, I'm a good boy. Unlike you, I know what to do. I know how to keep things. Or do you think that there's often a sense of maybe even inferiority, that she's not worthy, that she's not this? Maybe her core schema is challenged, right? Where she strongly believes, like, maybe I'm not worthy. Maybe I'm not ready. Maybe I'm not a good girl, and this is why she acts this way. Do you feel like maybe there might be feelings of guilt there because of what happened, because she wasn't able to do enough? Maybe because she learned and she managed to hit that rock, she absolved that guilt. What do you feel that looks like? And even further, what is she, 12 to 18? Who am I and where am I going? Who is she? Is she just a pet to Frieren? Or is she someone that's learning and growing, and is she finding her identity? Teens need to develop a sense of self and personal identity. Success leads to an ability to stay true to yourself, while failure leads to role confusion and a weak sense of self. Beautiful aspects. Beautiful way of coming in. Thank you so much, Erickson. Guys, drop some fucking Doritos for my homie, my main G, Erickson, please, and his developmental theories. That all these Doritos are for you, man. You're fucking G for coming up with these wonderful theories. Yeah, exactly. She's 17 and she might be developing the sense of self of being a good girl. Good girl, right? So it's interesting to see like these questions come through and answer. And even for yourself, how do we scale up to Erickson's theory to elf lifespan? That's going to be an interesting one, because we need to know the average of a lifespan for an elf, right?
まあ
I guess through this, right? Let me back it up just a little bit. Yes, chef. Guys, sous chefs, are you ready? We about to cook something here. Can I get a yes, chef, ladies and gentlemen? We about to cook something in here, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, chef. I want to see her nothing but yes, chef here. It's fucking raw. This show is fucking raw. Yes, chef. There we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Here's my theory for you. We're getting a lot of instances of past. Now, what does past mean? Past means guilt. Past means sensations of unfinished. You like it. Hey, yo, you like it raw. Well, are we about to see aspects of, of the priest come back for her? Are we about to see aspects of the priest, maybe even, because it says like family members, come back to her, and maybe she has to put the final nail in that coffin? Is she going to be the one that sets forth the precedent of closing that chapter in her life and being okay? Because seeing that it's like, oh, they saw undead family members, or is it Frieren maybe? Does she see Himmel? Does she think that this is heaven if they were to go out there and they experience something like this? And do they have their guards up? Because my thing is, imagine this. Someone that you love very, very dearly. Could be a mom, could be a dad, could be a brother, could be a sister, could be a pet. And you see their ghost. How would you react? And that is instantly what comes to mind as I'm seeing this. How would you react? I think that this is a big aspect of the journey of not just self-reflection, but the journey of oneself, the journey of what it means to open up new chapters in your door and close them, because you can't you literally can't close yourself off in your room and be like, it'll be okay, because time is passing by, and that door will get crusty, and that door will break down, and all of a sudden those issues that you thought you didn't have to deal with are going to be there. I'm bringing this up just based off of the concept that they brought up, which brings up another aspect, which is if we're seeing aspects of ghost and things like that, are we going to see other things like demons? Like, I am a succubus. Or are we about to see the full-on wyverns and dragons involved in this story as well? How grandiose is this fantasy element? All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm serving it to you raw, just the way I like it as well. And like, I don't know. We'll see where this goes. Are we about to see aspects of family, maybe who they consider family, pop up for them? Good cooking, good luck. Thank you. Okay, how many of y'all would like to live in Frieren's world? Show of hands. How many of y'all would love to live in Frieren's world? I already do. Nah, I'm good. Me? Yo no me gusta mi piso. Exacto lo que iba a decir. That's exactly what I was going to point out. How many of you guys would not like indoor plumbing or good toilets or dying of dysentery or, I don't know, not eating Taco Bell every day of your life because food might be bad, or me, but only after no, don't matter. I got healing magic. But would healing magic even go that far? That's sort of where it depends. Do I befriend Frieren? That would be cool. I mean, would she even care to be your friend? I guess that's the real question, right, Survivor? I no longer want to be an elf. I'm sort of wondering about the progression of that. I'm also wondering about how they view aspects of self, right? Do they view themselves as an individual that has needs, or do they not have needs, right? And is it weird for them that other individuals have needs? Because Fern is growing girl. She's gone through puberty. She probably has going through puberty. She probably has needs. Does Frieren have needs? And if she doesn't, Does knowing that Frieren have needs make her think of her differently in some way, shape, or form? Or is she okay with that? That's where my mind is immediately like rambling into like, how would this dynamic go? And how would Frieren even explain the aspects of what it means to go through these changes for her? I'm thinking a lot about these concepts, you know. I'm thinking slice of her. Oof. How much of the present is she disassociating? She might be disassociating all the time. That's a really good question. It's interesting because like we don't even gotta go that far. Like let's take that element away, the mysticism, element of it, of there being this being that can take us, can take whatever shape and lure you. Also, hold on, I read something before I answer this. I don't entirely mind Patreon reactions, but if you do it, at least add something while you're watching it. Absolutely, repetition, absolutely. So the concept that I'm bringing up here is for you, and it's as an introspective moment to bring up, right? Have you ever almost been consumed by an emotion? I'll be honest, I have. I have almost been consumed by, I guess, grief, where I got to a really, really dark place. And then I had to go ahead and emotionally balance myself out. And even vengeance, if we're going to be honest. There was a time where all I could think about is like, I need to get even. I need to get revenge. I need to get my, like it's an emotion that's driving you, Satan. Like some people it's jealousy, some people it's vengeance, it's anger, it's sadness, even for some people. Like everyone has different emotions, and for at some point in our life we can be driven by an emotion, right? So this is why I'm highlighting it, which is for you guys, have you ever been driven by an emotion before? And what was that like? I'll be honest, I felt like I was losing aspects of myself the more that I lent into those emotions. Whether it was sadness, I felt like I was truly killing off aspects of what I could be happy about, and I was only looking towards the negative. And same thing when it came to with vengeance, or aspects of vengeance, right? Where all of a sudden the only thing I could think of is revenge, 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 get equal, get equal, get equal, get equal, get equal. And I ended up like a lot of the opportunities or the friendships that you have, you start pushing them aside because you're consuming yourself with the aspect as to what it means to get revenge, what it means to be sad or truly feel that sadness, right? Some people are cursed, and I hate to put it this way, with being consumed by white knighting. They have to white knight everything. My lady, let me go get my fedora. I got to white knight everything. And it's like, dude, you don't. Put on your own oxygen mask before you go and try and save others, because for them, if they're not saving everyone else, how can they save themselves? A lot of people are their own martyrs, where they quite literally try and be there for 1,000 other people except for themselves. That's why I'm bringing this out. I'll be honest, I fall into that trap as well, where sometimes I try and help out a lot of people, and then I realize I'm out of self-care spoons. I'm out of self-care hearts. And if this was like The Legend of Zelda and I had all of these hearts out here, and every single time I interact with the client, it's half a heart that's down, half a heart that's down. It's going down, going down, going down. At the end of the day, I might be blinking with that last little half a heart. And I'm struggling. And there's this person that comes up and it's like, hey, I need you to empathize with me. I need you to go and be here with me. And I'm like, I can't, because if I give you this last little piece, what's left for me? What can I do to go ahead and better myself? If I'm not taking care of myself, how can I take care of you? And this goes out for others as well, right? It's an interesting concept to bring in. And this is why I'm throwing it out there to you. Lena, yeah, that's my concept. Yeah, exactly. How many of you guys have done that in the past or do that currently? Which is you try and be there for others and maybe you put yourself last. Lena, pobrecita. Ay, te quiero mucho. A todos, everyone. I love you guys. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But also, what the fuck? No, it's interesting. The show brought it up earlier. Context clues lead us to this position, right? Where even Frieren's asking this. There's a difference between saying something and then experiencing something. Like, for example, sometimes Reddit can be a wonderful place and it can be an accursed place, right? Where, and I use this to highlight this moment. You might be going through the world's roughest breakup, and if you go on Reddit, you might get some of the shittiest advice out there, or you might get some of the greatest advice out there, depending on what's there, right? Through that, though, there is a difference between thinking about what getting advice is. Can someone just mute the ads or stop the ads altogether, please? I'd appreciate it. Otherwise, I'll do it. I'll find a way to do it. There's a difference between, I don't know how to put it, like saying something like, oh yeah, when you go through a breakup, this is what you got to do, versus when you're actually going through a breakup. When your friends actually leave you, when you're left alone wondering who you can call and it's Saturday night and no one picking up the phone, or you don't have any more friends because all the friends that you do have are all on Discord or online. What do you do? What do you do when as a kid you thought that you would have all of these friends and you would have this life and this role and this job and this, whatnot, and now that you're growing up, and as you're growing up, even through university, you're seeing that things may not plan out that way, or that things are differently if you're in the job field already. Interesting concept. Because she's already done it in the past. Holy shit. Yeah. I am curious though, who is gonna show up for Frieren? Like, if these ghosts are like, how do I put this? If these ghosts are predatory, right? Like they're hunting on your emotions. They're like, and like they're waiting for your weakness to like strike in, right? Like they're already down here, just going through it. Like, who is gonna show up? What is the weakness? What is the weakness that they, or of attachment, that they think they're gonna go ahead and like and appear through that? Is it gonna be Himmel? Is it gonna be the priest? Is it gonna be their master? Right? And I guess for you, who would it be? There's been something that's been weighing on me lately, which, looking at this, it's kind of rough to conceptualize, and I guess I'll use this opportunity to share. Trigger warning: it's a tough subject that I'm going through. And it's hitting on it, because not looking at this, I was asking you guys who would it be, and I'm thinking about it right now, and I'm like, without going into too much detail, oh, I guess I have to a little bit, but one of my uncles was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and he's currently going through a lot, and it's been a lot, like, aside from all the things in life that life throws at us, for my family, for my mom, for just everyone involved in his life that genuinely care about him, because it seems as though parts of the family don't step up to help, don't step up to take him to appointments or whatnot. It's gotten pretty bad. And looking at the concept as to what it means to have someone that you care about, either, you know, that you lost because of a sickness, old age, whatever it might be, a peer, like, in case you guys see me get emotional for moments like that, know that it's because that's weighing on my mind a lot. The fact that, like, every day it's getting harder, right? And not just for me, but for, like, family in general. And when we're going through this is sort of what I'm contextualizing and I'm thinking about. I'm like, for Frieren, for so on and so forth, like, you know, for Frieren, what does it mean to have someone that close, whether it was your mom, your grandma, whoever was in your life that passed away, that, like, yeah, would you be able to, an aunt, an uncle, whoever that was, you know? Sorry, I usually don't divulge, like, I divulge some aspects of my life, usually in a professional manner, but, like, when it comes to personal, I try to keep that to myself. But I'm just letting you guys know, if you guys see an unscheduled, if I have to call for some, like, you know, a break or anything, just know that stuff may be happening, and I hope that you guys are okay with, like, that. Yeah. Oof. No, I don't want to be right. I don't want to be right. No. At least it looks like a kind phantom.
出た
It's a Phantom of the Opera, guys.
Oh,
why?
化けて出ることにしました。
No one said that this would be a fucking psychological hurt. A pain ghost. Oh. This ghost, let me find the one wording that, like, you like, and just feel it. I'm proud of you, son. Oh no. No. So those of you that haven't heard it, I'm proud of you, son. Oof. I'm proud of you, daughter. The phantom pain here. Are you winning, son? Oh,
こい
dude.
つ私のき
So it's Himmel for you. You can't be like, oh, I'm sure you'll be able to dispel it, but, like, how curious. Oh no. Oh, are you winning, Frieren? Will I see the next meteor with you in 50 years? Oh, what's up, Rotten Rice Mans? How you doing? Appreciate you. Welcome on in. Oh no. But, like, it's true. It's whoever's had the most impact in your life, and he clearly played a big impact in your life, just as much as the priest played an impact on Fern's life, you know. And it's awesome to see the way that they're correlating this, where both of them She thought it was going to be easy, but now he's appeared. And I do wonder if she's able to cut that connection like that and realize what's going on. Masters, if this was a real thing, I can see people who can't cope with the loss coming here and staying in the forest with the phantom for years. Yeah, absolutely. Masters, I can see people absolutely coming into this forest. And well, let's put it like this. How many of you, right, it would, I don't know, if you could always see a loved one like that, would give up some time to be there with them? Yeah. I feel like a majority of people would. Because memories, right? Thanks so much for the follow, by the way. Oh, there's so many people that would just give up everything to be with their loved ones again. Absolutely, Jowser. Also, welcome on in, Jowser. Appreciate you being here, man. I love that for him, it's just in character. What would he say? And I love how it's just shoot me. Himo wants to go out twice here. Himo trying to be a champ. So this monster creates memories based on illusions to prey upon people. Yet, according to Frieren's image of Himo, that he would harm or deceive. Well, you have to remember, this is based on their perception of them. Because is this really them? Or is this based off of memories? Which comes to the next question. Are memories real? Are memories real? There's a big argument, you guys can look this up on YouTube and on everywhere, about the validity of memories, right? Because as you grow and you change, your memories change with you. You might have some core fundamentals as to what might happen in there, but your emotions and your own growth patterns and thinking patterns start changing aspects of how you feel about the situation and even the perception as to what may have happened in it. So this is why I'm asking, do you think that this is Himmel? Is this how Himmel would act? Or is this the perception as to how Frieren believes that Himmel would act? That's sort of what I'm asking. Your memory might get confused. Yep. Exactly, JP. Exactly. That's what Himmel would say. Oh, damn. That's tough, dude. I hate to do this. But I'm gonna do it. Editors, you're gonna edit this part out, yo. If you're gonna go, for those of you on YouTube that are curious about this next part, you guys are gonna have to come on Twitch just to watch it. That's the only thing I can say. If you guys want the unedited experience there, okay, you guys ready? When people tell you that your show is fucking trash. When people are like, your show is fucking garbage, or someone has a really, really bad take, just shoot me. You go into a Discord and they're just talking shit about a show you like, just like, oh. Frieren, just shoot me. Oh, man. When you take a scroll through Twitter, oh, that's what a good way to fucking get into it. Holy shit. All right, let's back it up a little bit here. Ooh, there we go. When someone says MT, it's true. But will he be the real one? Will he be the real one? Hey, dude, I didn't want to bring it up. What's up? Will he be the real one? What's up, Sage? How you doing? It depends on what heaven in this world is, right? Because if Areola, right? If Areola is the place where literally like all these souls are at, are they the real souls? Or is it just a tip? Like, is it just a tip of a bigger adventure or a bigger iceberg, right? Like, did I say, fuck, how's it? It's Ariel. It's Ariel. It's Ariel. How is it pronounced? Areola? Ariel? What's the name? It's just a tip, dude. Thanks so much, Sage. Appreciate it. Thanks so much for the stretch. Ariel, God. Oh, God. It's just a tip, dude. It's just a tip. Ariel, thank you. Thank you, Sagas. Appreciate it. Guys, I say one thing wrong, and y'all just fucking ran with it. Y'all are like, a tip? A tip? Wait, hold on. I gotta do this right. Y'all are literally like, booba joke. Tip. Why am I doing monkey noises with it? Areola. You know, like fucking everyone puts it on. We very mature. Hey, it is what it is. I enjoy it. I enjoy it as well, man. It's supposed to. Oh my god, Ed. Yes, Sage. What's going on? Monkey brain turns off. Are you okay? Or Dino Hat. Chat.
そうですね。
Thank you. Appreciate it. 28 years after the death of Himmel the Hero in the Rigo Canyons located in the Central Lands. You need my Predator hat? Yeah, it's pretty cool. So much time is passing, and I love that they're using Himmel as a marker, if that makes sense. Like I don't even know how to conceptualize this. Himmel is the marker. He's an anchor point. He like, because you have to remember, yeah, it's like the death of Christ. It's a reference point, but it's interesting because that's sort of what this. He influenced the world, but is this a story that's being written from someone in the future, or as it's going? Ooh. Now all of a sudden I'm questioning if there's gonna be some like some time fuckery things, you know, like some some general like concept of time, because someone is straight up just. I need to defend myself. Hold on. Oui. How do you say? What the fuck? Oh, oui. How do you say what the fuck, dude? Un dragon? Because what the? Oh, this is interesting. It's interesting that they're expanding the world, right? Because we've gone from like introspection of an ending to an expansion, and it's just, nonetheless, there's no defense. You have found your ploy, wizard. No, I literally was just talking about the general aspects of fiction, right? Of how grandiose are we going to go with this? Of how big are we going to go? Un dragón, ay Dios mío. But like, how big is this gonna go? Is this gonna keep expanding into a realm where like the next thing on the list is gonna be, I don't know, mermaids, or we're gonna have a bunch of like, oh, the demon lord is resurrected. That's right, you thought it was a demon lord, but you're wrong. It was Toonie Ed. Darker than dark, blacker than black, right? Everyone knows my explosion is my. I don't know. I'm not gonna do an explosion chant, but you guys know what I'm saying. Like, it feels like it's just a progression of like growth, and it feels like it. Well, we have eminence to Savior Chuni for that. It feels like it's just expanding into a bigger and bigger perspective as to what this world can bring. Right. Let's see.
初めて見ました。相変わらず好きですね。どちらにせよ仕留めておいた方がいいでしょう。
It did nothing. It did nothing. It did nothing. It just glided off of him. Cosquillitas. Oh, bro. Oh, bro. Oh, bro. Frieren's over here doing an experiment. How far would you go for a grimoire? There's a glimpse. I love that the relationship is progressing. Before I say what's on my mind, I love that their progression, like their relationship is progressing. We're seeing that dynamic truly cement itself, and that propinquity is in effect, and that the parataxic distortion is slowly coming down, right? Because she's still a teacher, but it's more like leveling out based on the impacts here. But also, I do want to go ahead and say, hey, yo, Dojin artist. How far is Frieren willing to go for a grimoire or whatever? There it is. You're welcome. Hey, yo, grimoire. Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. Hey. Hey. Ah, god dang it. No, I try and bring some lightheartedness into this just because of the fact that these are actual. That's something you'd like to see. Hey, there's some actual heavy topics here, right? And they're like, even through this, even though it might be a reflectionary moment or an easy moment, it's interesting to see. Yeah, cope comedy, exactly. We all cope differently. Oh, she booked it. It's a quick flyer too. What's in the bag? 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 Bueno, si intentamos mañana MMORPG. You don't change clothes, Frieren. You wear the same fucking clothes all the time. All the time. So what's in the bag? I'm just curious. Libros de Maya. She's secretly a hoarder. We just don't know it yet. Obama's last name. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh. Wait, is this how we get red-haired boy? Is this how we're gonna get red-haired boy? We need to take on a companion to take on the dragon here. Ah, cute, cute. Ah, ah, Señor Pingüino. Ah, ah, ah. Pinguino joined our party and he left it instantly. Oh man. Senor Pinguino, I know. What have you guys done? What have you guys done? He a strong boy. Is this a world where dragons and queremos justicia? No. No merecen justicia. What was I talking about earlier? And even not even just this episode, like throughout. What was I talking about? I believe I was I believe I was touching on aspects of legacy like that, concepts like this. This ain't not, by the way, this is not something like, oh wow, he's like five-heading it. No, it's logical conclusions to come by because everyone worries about it at some point in time. And I do want to highlight this because like at some point in time you will be worrying about this, you know. And at some points in times, like, you know, you probably already are worrying about it. And this is why it's important to talk about. It's important to highlight. Dude, I love this show. I love this show because it like it falls in line with a lot of semblances of things, right? Following good psychological principles here. I guess it's time to be isekai. Everyone, you ready? We're gonna get isekai, bro. We'll take on this dragon. Oh. Kazu trash. I can already imagine wanting to be here. Don't look, Frieren. It's cold and oh no. But also, all of this collection of things, right? What is her ultimate goal? Like, I know that she's going out and she's collecting all of these spells and all of these things of remembrance and stuff, but like, why even the useless ones? It can give our life meaning to find a new grimoire, to find new things, but it's making me wonder, is she searching for something else out there? Maybe a hidden grimoire, or like a way to bring back people from the dead, or immortality, or that's sort of where my mind is at. Enforce justice for Pinguino? What mod did this? Yeah. Yeah, but then imagine this, Frieden. You're talking to someone, right? They're giving a presentation. They're at the front of the classroom, and you have your eyes set on them. You discover, hey, all the blood rushed down to their legs and they're trying their best to hide it. Now, what do? They're looking at you directly in your eyes because you're the only person that they can, center themselves with and anger themselves with. And they're trying to talk with you. And what do you do? What do you do in a world like this where you have that ability to not just see if they're armed or whatnot, but you have the ability to see further than that? Are you able to go ahead and separate the aspects of an individual, right, and how they might be in that current state and time versus specifically the armaments that you're looking for? Or would it be a distraction? Gotta catch them all, my friends.
少々よろしいですか?
A hidden weapon.
睨み合いの末に竜は去って行きました。
Or he froze. He just had a long... We have 4 functions as individuals when we're faced with the giant form of threat. Fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Right? We will do one of the 4 as a method of trying to go ahead and recognize certain things. I've seen a lot of fighters, because you guys don't know, do martial arts. I train in martial arts. Been in martial arts since I was a little kid. Seen a lot of times where people go up, they've been training, they've been like, I've been practicing martial arts. Hold on. We got to do this right. They're like, I've been practicing martial arts forever, man. Martial arts is my goal. You guys don't know me. I've been in karate, whatever, right? And then they get up there and they're ready, and all of a sudden the bell rings and they're just like, their feet are planted. They can't move, right? And they're just like, I keep forgetting you have a martial arts background. So I'm looking at that and I'm like, I've seen a lot of people phenomenal at training, phenomenal at sparring, but come actual fighting day, they freeze. Or they fawn and they're like, ha, 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 what, you want me to kiss you, man? I'll fucking give you a big smooch. And like they'll start doing jujitsu and they're like, or they'll start getting choked out and they're like, yes, daddy, to get them to stop. Or they'll start doing anything silly, to try and fawn and appease the attitude of what's happening to stop it. Which great methods. I mean, for some people, it makes them uncomfortable as fuck. And then on another aspect, they'll try and fight it, right? Or they might just call it off right there and then. So you have 4 different attitudes that he could go for. What did he do? Did he fawn with the dragon? I don't see that. Did he fight the dragon? I don't see that. Did he fly? Did he run away? Did he freeze? He didn't do anything. I think so. I think that's probably what ended up happening, and it's a very normal response. It can happen to anyone at any point in time, which is why training is important, and actually going out and doing real life events. It was a standoff. Really, bro? You're gonna really, bro? Interesting. I just caught on to something. They're the protags of this new world. I just totally caught on to something. Frieren has white hair. Frieren has like purple, like dark hair, right? Sort of symbolizing the other side. Himmel has blue hair. This kid has red hair. really, really interesting shift that they're going here. It's like they're training to be the new heroes. An awesome imagery. Now that I think about it, just looking at that, at the how hair color can be used to show a story. That is so beautiful. That is like, I'm looking at it and I'm like, that is honestly like beautiful as fuck, dude. That's my boy.
あまり刺激されると困るんだ。
傷じゃないでしょ。
Oh. Good question. It's been There's 104 days of summer vacation, and a dragon comes along just to end it. That's the annual problem for this generation. Is finding a good way to spend it. Like him, okay, but realistically, while going through this, it's been 3 years. Stop! You're giving me nostalgia. Good. It's been 3 years since this village thing, right? Since the dragon attacked the village or whatever. So you're saying we need to send Perry the Platypus? Yeah. Why hasn't he done it? If he really was this heroic individual that had this like standoff with the dragon, and he's like hair blowing in the wind, he's like, I'm a macho man. I look at the dragon in the eyes, and he said to me, "You're good," and he laughed. Right? Like, why hasn't he gone through and actually done anything? In fact, he's just stayed back and sort of been like, you know, normalizing this, or maybe the villagers put him in this parataxic distortion in this pedestal, and maybe he's just there, because that's sort of where I'm like, I think this man just froze. I think this man just straight up froze, and people are pulling it off as though he is this great hero, but he is not, because it's been 3 years and he's done nothing about this dragon. Yeah. Are they afraid of each other? Could be. How many dragons have I slain? In a fantasy world, I've slain. I've done quite a bit in Skyrim. I'm not gonna do the hand motions, but yeah, I think I've done quite a bit in Skyrim.
村にとど 特に理由はないよ。
相手は
¿Por qué no? Seeing her smile like this on the side, is she learning this magic, all these grimoires and stuff like this, as an aspect of joy? Like when someone says, you know what, I really love to see you so focused on your work, on your games or whatnot. Or like if someone showed up and was like, man, I really love seeing how passionate you get about like this show or this anime. What does this do to you? What does it do to you? Oh, it makes you feel good. It makes you feel like, you know, makes you focus a little bit more on the shows that you're doing. So I'm wondering if a comment ever escaped them in that aspect onto Frieren, where the affirmation came through, where it's like, I really love the magic that you do. It brings us so much happiness or whatnot, and added fuel to her fire. Because look, she's smiling. She's enjoying their reactions and the fact that they're enjoying her magic. And she kept doing it as a form to appease others. But is she appeasing herself? Or is she trying to find a way to get that appeasement back? That's the line of question that I'm coming through with that. That's it's powerful stuff. And it's always interesting to me. Typical Ed moment. Typical Ed moment. Typical Psyculturist stream. Pauses it right before the answer is given. Goes into a big explanation. And the next second it's like, and that's exactly why. Never change it. Bro, I feel like some days I'm just like, life really hits you like a truck. I still remember the Zombieland Saga one. Average Psyculturist stream, right? I wish, man.
仲間になるのは別に構わないぜ。
30 seconds.
なるほど。
And you're dead.
それ。
That fucking cracks me up, man. I'm not even gonna lie. That kind of fucking cracks me up, man. It's my boy. Oh.
野菜みたいに輪切りにしちまうんだぜ。人間が戦っていいような相手じゃねえよ。
Oh, why? Why? Oh, human doesn't stand a chance against. But yeah, it's a big prey. It's scary, bro. It's a fucking dragon. It's a dragon. Least amount of predictions per minute. Oh.
なぜかその後、竜が村を襲わなくなった。
I hate to put it this way, but if he doesn't so innocent looking or whatnot, I feel like any person, bad person, could have abused this power in like such a fucked up way. Like they've already placed you on a weird pedestal, and now you either have to play the part or break the news to them. And it's hard to break the news to them, and it's hard to come up and be like, oh no, I didn't do anything. I was terrifying, right? I was terrified. I just froze. Because all of a sudden their illusion of safety will be gone. And you're just taking their resolution. So that's a lot of guilt that he's dealing with as well. Funny stuff.
こいつはダメです。他を渡りましょう。
Pathetic. 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 She is a good girl, but no empathy. I mean, to what extent? Because you have to remember, Frieren cleaning up the sea or whatever. Yes, it might have been for a grimoire, but it's like, and for others, it's spit on me, burn some. Oh God, catch a spit with mouth. Eso de nuevo, porfa, no pregunte. Lugo, no, ¿por qué? She says that to running away from the dragon. Everyone can have empathy, right? Everyone can have a degree of empathy, and I feel first off, there's two things I hate, professionally and personally. When a person says, "I'm an empath, man," oh, you're not a fucking X-Men, dude. That's not a fucking superpower. People that are like, "I'm an empath," like, dude, no, shut the fuck up. You're not an X-Men. You know, you're not born with the ability of, like, you know, straight up empath. Empathy is something that you can develop with time, right? Empathy is something that you develop through life experiences and that you develop with interactions with others. For Frieren specifically, she's had limited interactions with others, as we've seen. And if so, it's been like periods of time where it's like meaningful attachments. So her form of empathy might be different than with others. And that's why her social cues might be completely different, right? Ooh.
よく考えろ。
Did he do this? Hold on. Is this why she came back to him and gave him a second glance through? Oh, bro. It's a lot. It is a lot for him to be placed there in that position. I can imagine the sensations of guilt, of not being good enough. Like, are you good enough? And I think that's a good question that is coming through consistently, you know, like for all of these characters. Are you a good girl? Or are you a bad boy or a bad girl? Or, oh, you've been a naughty boy or a naughty girl or a good girl, so on and so forth. The concepts of good and bad and what they're doing and actually helping or detracting from society is interesting. And that's a big weight for him to have, because he's the hope of this village. So with that being said, you want to know what else is a hope? Your BP time, ladies and gentlemen. It's break time. Yo. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going into a quick break. We'll be right back. Drop Doritos when you guys are back. Be right back. That's what I like. That's what I love about it, is the fact that, like, it's taking its time. It's not rushing through it. It's just, it's like we're watching them grow. So it's awesome. It is awesome. You guys get no sound. No sound. All right, here you go. We'll back it up a couple seconds. Mm.
臆病なのは否定しないよ。フェルンだって初めて魔物と戦った時。
Anime food,
全く
man.
小さかった頃は。
That's a good question.
さあね。
Oh, my dude going
気に
ham.
なるなら見てくれば。
So that's the thing. And I think this is important to go ahead and talk about, right? Which is expectations, right? Which is a lot of times, like, we make judgments on things, right? And for example, every single day that you wake up, you're making quick judgments because you're sure, and you act based on how sure you are on those judgments. I'll ask this one, and this is an extreme example, and I'm asking this. Yes, it's funny. Yes, it's a joke type of thing, but it does carry a meaning with it. How many of you have held in a fart and you were unsure about it? And you're like, oh God, I don't know, man. I don't know how this was. If this is like, you might have been in a meeting, if this is gonna be loud, if this is gonna be like soft, or if, like, there's other people in the room with you, and you're unsure. What do you do? What do you do in a situation like that? Felt horrible. My poor intestines. Yep. Sometimes you're like, my gut feeling literally is saying don't do it. Never, like, you don't know if it's not going to be just a fart or whatever, right, in that situation. But you don't know until the moment, right? You don't know until that happens. You don't know what's going through it. It's a gamble nonetheless. But some people have strategies that they use to go ahead and, like, diminish the effects of that. Some people run to the restroom. Some people try and excuse themselves. Some people don't care. Some people just do it out in the open. They don't care, right? Some people are wild like that. But that's the fact that I'm trying to bring up, is all of us have, like, we make judgments based on the expectations that we have. If people think that they can get away with it, they probably do, right? But if those that you're on the verge and you're hearing your stomach go, your stomach's over here like fighting for Middle Earth, and you're like, oh God. Like, the worst thing that I've seen is literally someone trying to cover it up with the cough. It doesn't work, brother. It doesn't work. But yeah, that's what I'm saying is, when we're looking at something like this, we also have to remember that people judge things differently. Their expectations are all different. Sometimes we need to see things or acquire knowledge of it before we're certain of what's coming. Silly analogy to bring it up, but I hope it's one that's, like, sticks and doesn't stink, I guess. The cough to fart to shark combo. Oh no.
What?
The cough draws your attention.
一人だけ逃げ出した臆病者だ。
Oh. I think he might just need confidence, and he might just need a reason to fight, right? There are a lot of people out there in the world that, like, I guess I'll frame it in this way. How many of you run from your problems? And I mean, you take it introspectively. How many of you put off your problems to another day? You're like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and put it in this jar for another day. I'm going to go ahead and not handle it. I'm going to push it off over here. I don't have to deal with it right now. Why? What do you feel like you would need to be able to handle those problems? It's a very, very real thing. And that's why I'm looking at this and I'm like, oh, wow. Like, that's a future me problem. But this problem is still adding up. It's like a jar, right? Where this jar just keeps growing and growing, and you're filling it and filling it. You're like, oh, it's a future me problem. It's going to explode at some point, I have too many problems. I need to prioritize some problems over others. Oh, why so? Why so? There's a lot of interesting introspection to be had with that. It's okay, by the way. I'm not saying it's not okay. It's okay that sometimes you need to put some stuff off. But for yourself, do you ever feel overwhelmed thinking about the problems that you may have to solve? You're putting them off, but then it gets into a point where you're like, you're anxious. And you're anxious because like, hey, at some point in time, I have to deal with this. But I got to keep putting it over there because mentally I'm not ready to deal with it just yet. Yeah, that anxiety can be a lot. And that's sort of what I'm thinking about when it comes to Stark here, is has he had the preparation or the ability to find something that makes him stable enough to fight for something he believes in, or to center himself and ground himself literally. In case you guys are wondering, what am I talking about? For some people, even talking about their issues gets them really, really anxious. For some people, if we're looking right now, how many of you are breathing manually? I bring this up a lot because it's a concept that a lot of people can connect to quickly. A lot of people are breathing automatically because for them, that's their quick judgment call. That's like, you know, they're not taking the time to enjoy their breathing patterns. It's easier. How many of you are actually can feel, you know, your feet, right? The way that like your feet feel on the ground, or if they're on your shoes, like how that feels with your sock on or without a sock on, you know, to wiggle your feet and touch your surrounding areas. How many of you are feeling that your mouth is starting to get a little dry? Maybe you haven't had water in a while and you start feeling all the air around like the different pores in your mouth and how dry it might be getting a little bit. How many of you have a little bit of a dry eye? You know, maybe you haven't blinked in a while, and so on and so forth. These concepts keep coming up and keep, like, they're aspects of things that we push to the back of our brain. And we're like, we are not going to go ahead and think about this right now because we have other things to worry. But if we take the time to actually enjoy the simple things, we might be able to enjoy other things as well. You know, another whiskey pour. Dude, I'm not able to drink till November. I'm almost there. Almost there. And then Evil Ed is going to come out a little bit more. Oh, I hope you guys are ready. I hope you guys are ready. Well, damn. I'm gonna be honest, I would hate living in this village. It would sound like someone's dropping a fucking bomb, exploding dynamite every single time he swung that axe. I would be pissed. I would be pissed. Sir, it is 1 a.m. We're trying to sleep here. Sir, I'm gonna have to go ahead and call the cops. You're disturbing the peace at 1 a.m. Nah. Es como vivir en la misma ciudad que Megumin. Straight up, it is like living with Megumin there. It would be, ooh, friend, moist. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, that's right. The dwarf said he cannot hold the axe anymore. Is this because he passed it on, like, legacy-wise? That is such a nice, like choice there. Ooh. 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 Given how quiet it can be in a village, they would be much more sensitive. No, he can't swing that hard. All right, ladies and gentlemen. And we have this beautiful ending here that we can all cat jam to. It's beautiful, man. It's an awesome story, and I like where it left off. And I'm kind of wondering where it's gonna go. Like, we've already seen some big bads. We're seeing the dragging now. How far is this gonna escalate? Are we gonna see some like politics stuff? Like, are we about to go into more like the politic nature of the world, about like evil and aside from dragon slaying, like where's this show gonna take off as well as they keep going on this 10-year journey by themselves? Because by the time they're done, Friend might be closer to 30 than anything, you know. She might be closer in her 30s than anything else, like 27, 28, you know. Oh God, like that's wild. Aside from that, ladies and gentlemen, what would you give this episode? And will they actually get to see the ghost? True, because we don't know how long that might take them. But guys, what would you give this episode out of 10? Let me know. YouTube as well, guys. What do you think about this episode in of itself? I thought this was a really good episode. Thank you, Windows Security, Virus Threat and Protection. Appreciate you. I think this is a really good episode. I think it emphasizes a lot. That the first couple of episodes really hit your heart, but this is just a very fun, very awesome way to just to enjoy the series. The old hag. The passage of time is cruel. Isn't that a bit dangerous? Don't cause any trouble in this town. Oof. Oof. Reflection time. Reflection time. Does Stark feel guilty about leaving his master? That is so amazing. I love this show, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you guys that are on YouTube, come and join us by the time this is up. I hope that the mods or the editors put this up like day after day after day after day just to catch up, guys. I would appreciate y'all being here. Come and join us. We do this every Friday for Frieren Fridays until Moshiko Tensei comes back. But guys, I appreciate each and every single one of you guys. You guys are the bee's knees. I really, really love you guys. I enjoy you all. You guys mean everything to me. I hope you guys know that. I really, really do. Like, appreciate you all.